Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Who you with, Kirk? I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on it. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. Welcome to Speak. I'm 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 who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm who you with, Kirk, dog. Want to welcome everybody on Flick, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, D Live is always in the house. If you are on my personal Facebook page, please take the time to go over to Speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. And it's right at the bottom of the stream. For if you decide to chat with us, it will show up in a message, and people can see exactly what you're saying. We're back on live tonight because last night was a mess. I don't know about y'all, but here in the DFW, we got a lot of rain last night. Yesterday afternoon, it was pretty bad. Our lights went out about 3 something, came back on about 8:30 last night. So I was like, oh no. So but we're back in the building tonight. You can live chat with us in the chat room. You can also call in. We're going to talk about a couple of things tonight, and we're going to keep it moving. First of all, they having a prayer and justice march on Capitol Hill here in Texas at the state capitol. Friendship West is putting it on Thursday, July the 15th at 9 a.m. If I believe they are providing buses, but you need to go to the website to get registered for the bus. You must register for the bus if you're going to ride with them to make sure they have enough room. Or you can drive and meet them there at 9 a.m. Thursday, July the 15th. Trying to stop this voter suppression here in Texas with Greg Abbott, because we see exactly what he's doing and how he's trying to operate things. That's why it's so important that we get out and vote next year to get him out of office. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Welcome to the show. Radio Chaos is back in the house. Welcome, Radio. Thank you for always tuning in and being a supporter of the show. What, almost about a year now. So I appreciate it. And I finally found, yeah. Yes, unfortunately, he is in a wheelchair from an accident where I believe it was a tree company cutting down trees or something, and a limb fell on him or something while he was out jogging or riding a bike or something. I'm not sure the full detail, but yes, he is in a wheelchair. Uh, uh, yes, he is. But um, but I don't think that accident messed with his mind or messed with the racism that he's showing. We're trying to do this voter suppression. So um, I think that's just personal for him, unfortunately. Um, but we're going to talk about Abigail. I don't know if y'all seen the video of Abigail. Uh, Abigail Hip Hick, Elphick, Elhick. tried to attack a young woman at Victoria's Secret. Uh, Zima Ukenta, I believe that's right. If not, I'm sorry about dicing your name up. But tried to attack her at Victoria's Secret. And luckily, the young lady was videotaping it. And that's, it didn't end well. Well, depends on who you ask. But we'll get more into detail about this story. But also, we're going to hit on Greg Abbott tonight. Yeah, that voter suppression that he's trying to do here in Texas. And yes, the Democrat walked out again. They refused to vote for it. So we're going to go into more details about that also. Also, civil rights attorney Lee Merritt have started his campaign today for Texas Attorney General um, right here in Texas. So he will be going up against Ken Paxton. So we're about to clean Texas all the way up because we need to change all our leaders in Texas. The ones that are all about themselves, a certain group of folks, we're going to make a change. You're on notice. Um, so, so with Abigail, the video start off, Abigail approaching a woman. And luckily, the young lady had the video because the story would have got switched around real quick. She started approaching this woman and tried to hit this lady. And the young lady said in the video, if she did not duck, she would have hit her. Now, here's the key. um, Abigail, I don't know how this got started. Apparently, it may have been some type of words exchange, and the woman decided to record. Well, when Abigail realized the young lady was recording her, she cut on the water faucet or the lack of water because she want to play the victim role. She want to cover her face and pretend like she crying. I thought I seen her do like we used to do as kids and put the fake tears on her face. Um, but she want to break down and cry. Now, the sister was asking for Victoria's Secret to contact security because apparently what happened before, Abigail was asking for security. But then when the sister started asking for security, she told me, please don't call them, please don't film me, and all of this. But at the same time, Abigail was the aggressive from what I seen from the video. Now, of course, you know, when you see little Becky, or in this case, little Karen Abigail, uh, on the ground crying, you're going to have some more Karens be like, why don't you just leave her alone? Well, first of all, you didn't say nothing when this woman charged against her, charged and tried to hit her. You watched it. You didn't say nothing. Now, the woman wasn't picking at Abigail, but she decided to continue to film. And the woman gonna tell the sister, why don't you just walk away? Walk away from her. No. The lady said in the video, hey, I'm trying to purchase my items and trying to find out about these items. So I was here first. She approached me. But at the same time, Abigail is getting louder and louder. And this was what really tripped me out. So as Abigail done put on this show for, I don't know how long it was or anything like that, but she on the ground just crying. And all of a sudden Abigail grabbed her purse and she put her purse down on the ground real nice and calm. And then she paused and she looked. Then she leaned down, put one hand down, then softly laid her head on the purse as if she had fainted. I don't know anybody that have actually fainted have time to put a purse down and get it just right where your head is going to land on that purse. You have time to put your hand down too, for you won't hit the ground too hard, and lay your head on the purse. So Abigail put on a big show. Well, it didn't end there. Abigail got up after several minutes and decided to chase the sister around the store. And I believe at one point, the sister had to go in the back room of the store, and the manager stood in front of her to keep Abigail from coming back there. So, of course, when the police get there, yeah, when they got there, um, Abigail was the victim, since she's the one that allegedly called. Um, I believe it was, um, I want to make sure I'm saying, I believe it's Miller. It was in Milburn Police Department in New Jersey. Uh, so they come out and they ask the sister to leave the store. She like, no, I'm shopping. This woman is harassing me. I'm the victim, and y'all telling me to leave? No, she the one that need to leave. But here it is. I say it all the time on the show. I don't care who you are. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. Abigail was wrong. The whole time she was playing with the police officer that she didn't want this video online. She could lose her job. She could lose her apartment. And she admitted that she was wrong. She admitted to the officers that she did try to hit the young lady, but they did nothing to her. They escorted her to her car. Now, here's the problem. What if the young lady, when Abigail ran up on her and took a swing at her, what if she would have defended herself and came back and gave Abigail something to really cry about? Because Abigail was in the wrong. People don't understand that you cannot just approach people and feel like you can say and do whatever you want to that person. A person have every right to defend themselves. And if the young lady would have defended herself, it would have been justified, because video don't lie. Even though some people turn a back on the video and like they don't see what's happening, kind of like Milburn Police Department, the officers that came out, they act like it didn't exist, as if she can email it to them. Well, Abigail need to be arrested for harassment and whatever other charges that can come up. And for that poor acting gig she did, she should be arrested for that alone. I'm like, I don't know if she thought she was doing a movie trial or what. Radio said it's good. More people are showing what idiots they are and commit their crimes on camera. Speed up the court system. Well, it depends on who the court system is for. It should speed it up But as we can see from the January 6th terrorist attack, domestic terrorist attack, a lot of these folks are getting out on bond. Some of them getting out don't even have to pay for a bail to get out. But you committed a domestic terrorist attack on Capitol Hill. So they shouldn't be allowed to get out. And the other terrorists wouldn't be able to get out. So it all depends on who you are. That's why we say all the time it's a difference between black laws and white laws. It's a complete difference. Want to welcome everybody that chime in and that is tuning in now. You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. Whatever platform you are on, please take the time to like, share, subscribe. You can chime in with us also. If you have a comment about what we're talking about, you can chime in. Let us know how you feel about it. But Abigail was wrong in this situation. She was definitely wrong. And I don't know what the policy of Victoria's Secret is, but their employees they didn't really get involved. They did not ask her to leave the store or anything like that. But if a person is doing a disturbance, seem like not unless they policies just call security or call the police. I don't know, but they should at least ask her to leave the store, and that probably would have solved most of it right then and there. But who knows? She might be a friend of somebody at the show, at the store. But yeah. So hopefully, some things come up, and it just so happened that it's in New Jersey, just like Edward Matthew. I don't know how far apart they are, but um, it's she's in New Jersey. Oh, and here's another thing. If I'm not mistaken, Abigail is a school teacher. Yeah, she's a school teacher. So you're responding like this in public because whatever reason, and you try to attack someone. How would you treat a child if you don't agree with them? I'm just asking because allegedly she's a school teacher at Cedar Grove High School. And she decided, see, it would have been okay if the sister was not videotaping it because it would have been her word against Abigail. But because it was on video and Abigail realized she was being filmed, that's when she so-called had a nervous breakdown. And that's something else that came out. They said, oh, she just having a meltdown, having a bad day today. And that's the crazy part about it. It's so easy to say somebody is having a bad day or a meltdown, but what happened after that? That don't mean they cannot be held accountable for their action. That's just like that killer up in Atlanta that was going around to all the different spas, bathhouse, and shooting those folks. The officer said he just had a bad day. That don't justify what he did. Hell, I had a bad day yesterday when my lights went out. But I'm not finna go out here and bang bang shoot them up either. Or go out here and act a fool. I'm gonna have to just wait until they come back home. So yeah, what's going on? Marcella Smith said, "What's up, my people? It's the People Show." Um, I appreciate you, Marcellus, for always supporting the show. Like I said, if you're just not tuning in, please take the time out, uh, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Uh, Let your friends and family know we are live. We're live, and you can communicate with us during the live show. I have to express during the live show because sometime when I do replays at 1 a.m., I start getting wake up the next morning. I have so many missed calls during the live show. So we're live Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. And if you see a replay at 1 a.m., that's a replay. I normally have replay in the message, so do not call. Yeah, but hopefully Abigail get whatever she have coming for her. But she's a school teacher and she acting like this in public. Um so in Texas, yeah, Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott. Um I guess he having a bad day too, or a bad last year in office, a year and a half in office, because he's not doing too good. They want to blame everybody except themselves for what's going on. That's like Trump. He blamed everybody else except himself for failing. Greg Abbott, he feeling the heat. He have a lot of people running up against him. So he's trying to do everything possible to try to get reelected in November 2022. But it's not going to work. Greg, you're about to lose your job. Make it easy for yourself. Fall out the race. Because this voter suppression that you're trying to get signed. Now y'all saying for you is you're saying it's for the good of Texas. It can't be good for Texas if you're limiting the amount of people that can vote, sending mail-in ballots, making it harder for them to drop off mail-in ballots. You closing polling location down in Houston. How is that making it better for Texas? If anything, it's making it better for you. For you can try to stay in a position, or other Republicans to stay in those positions. So, Greg Abbott, your time have expired. It's time for you to move on. It's definitely time for you to move on. Um, so yesterday, during a special session that Greg Abbott had called, uh, the Democrat walked out again. They said, "No, we're not voting for this. It's not right. We're not voting for it." So some of them took um, a private jet, some flew commercial, and they went to Washington. Now, according to the news, you thinking they went to Washington on vacation. Nope. They're still working, trying to get Congress to step up and stop this madness from this voter suppression laws that many states have either signed or trying to sign. And Greg Abbott's so frustrated. He gonna say today, "I don't care. I will call a special session uh, all the time just to all the way up until November of 2022. I'll call a special session every time because we don't need this. We don't need this." So the problem is, we don't need you in office anymore. Let the truth be told. I never voted for you. I knew you was no good. I knew you wasn't for the people of Texas. I knew it was all about yourself. That's why Texas is so important that we as people get registered to vote and get out and vote. That's what we need to do. And show them we're tired of these games they playing. Greg Abbott did everything and say everything that Trump says. Everything. So yeah, just like we sent Trump a message, we need to send Greg Abbott a message. Now, Greg Abbott is he already said yesterday that the Democrats who fled state over election bill would be arrested upon their return. Even I believe today he even mentioned, well, one of the local news station did a just to verify if they could be arrested, and yes, they can be. Um, and they verified some other things, but I'm not going to help Greg out. He the governor, he should know these things. But the thing is, Greg Abbott, your time is up. It's up. It's time for you to get ready to move on. Um, Radio said, so now when a Republican win, it's a fair election. But if a Democrat win, it's fraud. Unbelievable. Um, what's happening down in the US? You know, it's funny that you say that because uh, Ken, the alleged gangster Paxton, made a comment on Twitter today, and I responded back, and I said, "Hey, so in 2016 it was fair, but in 2020 when it didn't go your way, it's not fair. So now y'all mad. Hashtag stop voter suppression." So it that's what they want. They like a big kid on the playground. If they don't get their way, they're gonna holler wolf, they're gonna cry, they're gonna kick, they're gonna do whatever they can just to get their way. With Texas, we need to step up and get out and vote. Let them have their way on that playground, but not at the state capitol, not down in Austin. Let's give them that way where Ken Paxton can go ahead and stand trial for the fraud, security fraud uh, case that he been pending for 6 years. Then also for the abuse of power. Even the state bar associate is still investigating him about all the lawsuit he kept filing during the election during November. They investigating him. So he's trying to change his tune a little bit. But Ken Paxton got a bigger fish to fry too. Radio said the GOP at like Tyler Planet. See, I didn't even read your comment because I told you I won't read your comment while I'm in the middle of saying something. But that's basically what I just said at the playground. And that's exactly how they act. And please do not get it twisted. Um, Even though Hunt Funds have all these dealerships here in Arlington, don't get it twisted because he's just like them. I told you when we went to San Antonio last month, up once you get out of Dallas, all the way down to San Antonio, billboard, stop voter fraud, stop voter fraud. What voter fraud are you talking about? Greg Abbott using everything he can as for saying protect our borders, using fear to try to get reelected. People, please do not fall for the okie doke. Trying to use fear. It's more than just that. They've been talking about the border wall since 1937, and it's still not up. So what's going to make the difference now? Every election, it comes up. That's how Trump won 2016. Use fear. But it didn't work in 2020 because people realized how much he lied. Radio said, could you imagine if professional sports teams started contesting the outcome of games like the GOP are doing? Woo. Yeah, that probably wouldn't be too good. That would not be a good outcome at all. Oh, that's not right. I should have made the key word. I should have made a touchdown, but they stopped me and you didn't mark it right. Well, you're 25 yards from the end zone. What you mean I didn't mark it right? You went on fourth and 10 and you didn't make it. That's right, Marcellus. Your time is up. Our time is now. Yes. I wanted to put some more things when I tweeted not Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton. I said, "No, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice because I sometimes when you type things, you have to reread it, then just delete it. God told me don't be ugly, so I had to delete it, and I said no, I just wait. But Ken Paxton have a bigger fish to fry because today, civil rights attorney Lee Merritt started his campaign. Um, he's going after it, and I hope he have my support because right now, no one else have stepped up for that position, and I'm behind attorney Lee Merritt for the simple fact I see the work that he do. I see everything that he have done in the past. Some people have some things to say about it, but um, the thing is, when it's all said and done, we need somebody who's going to be for everybody and not just for a certain group of people. We need someone like Lee Merritt in that position that's going to be fair. He's a civil rights attorney. Civil rights, we all have civil rights. And civil rights is not just about Black folks, they support them all. So I stand behind attorney Lee Merritt. Like I said before, I haven't seen no one else come up, step up the game, or throw their hat in the ring. I stand behind him, and I feel like he have a very good chance of beating Ken Paxton, and let Ken Paxton go on. And I believe he's allegedly facing up to 20 years in prison for that first case he did, the security fraud. Let him go and serve it out. Let him go and serve it. See how that work out for him. So, yeah, I I stand behind Lee Merritt, and I feel that he would do a great job. So I'm trying to figure out what was going on. I forgot that sheriff was there. I'm like, what is that? So Lee Merritt, I'm behind you. If you ever want to come on, talk to the people, you're more than welcome to come on. I know you're very busy. You working cases and pretty much see him on the TV almost on a daily basis fighting some type of civil right case. So, uh, but the door is open if you ever want to come on and address the people. But um, so Ken Paxton, he have a lot to be concerned about. His time is up. Now I know Dan Patrick may feel like we missed him, but no, your time is up too. Your time is up also uh, because you did some foul stuff too from Little Becky with the salon. You decided to allegedly pay her fees, and you also talked about paying $1 million if somebody proved that fraud was done. So I'm like, hey. Oh, and I guess what Ken Paxton is agreeing to now, he will stop blocking people on Twitter. He trying to do everything, get in the good grace of the people, but now your time is up. Your time is up. You've done too much. You've said too much, and you never should have got reelected before. But because some people was asleep back then, they didn't realize how important the local election is. But now they aware of it. So since they are aware of it, your time is up. Uh, so it's definitely your time is up. And I ran across another story. I just took it off. Um, Golly, let's see if I can pull it back up. But uh, hold on, I told y'all. If this is your first time, every once in a while a story may come up that we may forget about it. Um, but we have to type it in at the time. Um, uh, Hold on, real quick. Okay. A Chicago banker. This came out a couple hours ago. A Chicago banker convicted in loans for Trump job schemes. Um, A Manhattan jury has convicted a Chicago banker of criminal charges for enabling Paul Manafort to get $16 million in loan as the former campaign manager for ex-president Donald Trump helped him to get an interview for a job in the Trump administration. So you committed fraud to go work with a crook. Yeah. Um, so they convicted him today and said the jury returned its verdict in federal court after less than 2 hours of deliberation, convicting Stephen uh, Chalk of a financial institution bribery and conspiracy. Chalk lawyer had maintained their client did nothing illegal in the weeks after Trump won presidential election in 2016. But prosecutors said Chalk cleared the path for Manafort to receive loans he was not entitled to in the hope that Chalk could secure a high level post with the Trump administration. Although Chalk eventually got an interview at Trump Tower, he was not hired. Sentencing was set for January 10th. Uh, for Chalk, who was the former chief executive of the Federal Saving Bank. So January 10th, all of that, you committed fraud. and I wouldn't be surprised if more charges don't come out. See what they getting, what New York is allegedly doing. They're getting all these small timers and hoping one of them flip on them and tell the truth about Trump. And that's why the CFO was arrested last week or the week before, of his company. At some point, they're gonna find that right one, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, here's the deal." So somebody gonna end up talking. Somebody will. Um, so we will see how that goes. As for Trump and his goons, but those are some of the stories we're talking about tonight. You can always chime in, let us know how you feel about them, and also you can also call in if you want to talk. Um, if you want to talk, you can call in, but a couple of rules though: do not block your number. Uh, Listen to the phone, not to your computer, and also be respectful. Because if you come disrespecting, I'm gonna just hang up on you. Don't have time for it. You block your number, I'm not gonna answer your call. There's no other way of putting it. So, Radio said we even have a Trump Tower here in Vancouver. Woo! Speaking of Vancouver, y'all restriction are kind of jacked up. Yeah, the, the restriction for travel is kind of messed up there. Um, that was caught us by surprise. Said, yeah, need to spend at least 14, be prepared to stay for 14 days. So, said, no, can't do that one. But also, uh, even though here the car door or something, I can't see outside. But even though we're dealing with um, uh, still dealing with the fact that we're having to deal with voter suppression in 2021, which we should not have to deal with that at all. But unfortunately, due to the leaders that we having to deal with it. Even today, uh, President Biden made a speech in Pennsylvania, I believe it was, about the voter suppression um, things that's going on in the world. And Greg Abbott run to Twitter telling about they're Biden again, thinking our voter system is nothing wrong with it. It's only a problem when you don't get your way. That's the only time it's a problem. So people, I don't know what to say about um, people gonna say and do what they want, but at the same time, they have to understand our voting system need to be fair for everyone. I hate to hear when people say, "Well, my vote don't count." Your vote only don't count when you don't show up, when you don't register to vote, when you don't go and vote, when you don't go and sit on the jury duty. That's when your vote don't count. But we all have that right. Even if you have uh, done time in prison. But if you're out for papers, You paid your dues, you can get your voting rights back. Go to vote.org. Vote.org. Answer the questionnaire right there. You're no less than 30 seconds if you get your voting rights back. It's not hard to do. Take advantage of it. Yes, it's our rights to vote. Just like people say it's their right to do other things. Well, it is our right to vote. Everybody have that right. But when you don't take advantage of that, that's an issue. That's why they don't care about you marching and protesting. They're not concerned about you doing that. But what make them concerned and make them change the laws is you marching to the polls. You getting registered, marching to the poll, and feel your civic duty by voting. We can talk about it, but if we ain't about it, they don't care. Radio said, look like the border won't open to at least fall. Yeah, maybe. But it's what I seen. I was like, ooh. Uh-uh. Um, yeah, excuse me, drinking some juice tonight. So, um, radio said in some countries, citizens are compelled to vote by law. Exactly. But here in America, it's a threat if people got out and vote. It's a threat. It's a threat because we have some greedy folks in office. No, let me rephrase that. It's a threat because we have some racist folks in office that don't want people to get out and vote. They want to make the laws to keep people down, to make everybody to be on a better level, on the same leveling field as everybody else. Here it is. A lot of states, including Texas, minimum wage, um, 7.25, I believe, which is low. Yeah, 7.25. Said well below livable wage and far lower than the minimum hourly pay in most states. So yeah, Greg Abbott, why don't we be concerned about that? Raise the minimum wage in Texas. Put that in your special session. Or better yet, let's talk about the grids. Let's work on that. Oh, that may not affect you because I'm sure you have a backup generator at your home, probably have a couple of them. Let's talk about that. But that don't hurt you. That don't hurt you. And then poor Ted talking about, I think he tweeted out the Dems catch a flight to Washington to keep from voting. But you took a flight to Cancun while the state that you represent is frozen. Tell me which one is worse. Standing up to um, people that's trying to do voter suppression, running from your state, why it's froze over. And I'm still trying to figure out how was it that you and the lady that was allowed to go to a company event in Cancun that same weekend, but nobody felt it was anything wrong with that. Nobody felt there was an issue with her being able to go to Cancun after the attack at Capitol Hill. It's amazing all these folks that said it was the greatest day in their life to attack Capitol Hill, but then they're not being held accountable. They're not being held accountable. So that's a problem within itself. You cannot continue to do that. Um, Trying to see because I'm trying to. I want to say I seen an update about this, but I want to make sure first. But yeah, we have to do something to take a stand, and we have some sorry leaders here in Texas. I don't know any other way of putting it. Our leaders here are sorry. They dare to make a name for themselves to build a resume up. They not for the state of Texas. Radio said Ted Cruz was saying that Dems that left the state could face arrest if they return, but it's fine with him aiding and inciting an insurgent on the Capitol. I can't wait until the day that he get arrested for his part in it. But it is true. They could definitely be arrested. Greg Abbott said he will be arresting them. Is it right? I don't feel like it is. Because the thing is, you up here talking about using voter suppression against folks, trying to keep them from voting. At least they have enough sense to stand up and say, you know what? We're not going to fall for this. We're not going to go through this. We're going to take a stand on this, which they should. They supporting the people of Texas. But here it is. If they don't take a stand, well, guess what? They can they will be just like the Republicans, doing whatever they want to do, not concerned about the fact that they are for the people. So yeah, I'm trying to get an update on this. I want to make sure. My computer doing all type of things. Okay, so okay, so Gwen Levy, and I've seen this the other day and I forgot about it. It just came to me. That's the 76-year-old grandmother that actually was arrested after being released from prison. She was arrested because she was taking a computer class. We talked about it weeks ago. She was taking a computer class, so she was arrested for not answering her phone. So I wanted to verify that I seen it, but I didn't get a chance to really look into it. But she was released again, so she's back at home, and but they're saying that the fight is not over. The fight is not over, so it's still some legal thing that could come up. So it's good that they did send her back home. Uh, my question is, why the parole officer did not know she was taking a computer class in the times? So they should have known not to call during that time. Kind of like, for instance, with me, I found that yesterday when our power went out. Um, um, when our power went out, I was limited to what I can do because apparently we have bad service in this neighborhood, or it could have been due to the rain. But without Wi Fi, I couldn't get on social media. I was limited to what I can and couldn't do. Um, so I'm like, hey, it could have been a situation with that. Where she going to school at? Maybe didn't have a signal for her monitor device. So I don't know. Um, so that's something to look into. Welcome to the show, T Cal. I snuck up in the house, said, hey, radio, Marcel is what it do. Uh, thank you for always tuning in um, and always been a part of the show. Tonight is Tuesday, so I'm thinking you at work tonight. So that's hey, I understand Tuesday, gotta get it in. Anytime you can get it in, you gotta get it in. But um, so I'm glad Miss Gwen was released from prison. Um, then a story I was gonna talk about yesterday. Uh, Let me pull it up. All my stories coming back to me. Um, I was listening to the Steve Harvey show yesterday morning on my way to an appointment, and uh, they was reading a letter from this queen sent in, a 94-year-old grandmother from Alabama, Miss Moon Tucker. Says she always wanted to try on a wedding dress. Miss Martha May Ophelia Moon Tucker says she always wanted to try on a wedding dress. So her granddaughter made arrangement to make it happen. Took her to the wedding store. She tried it on, and had one of the biggest smile on her face because she got married in 1952. And unfortunately, back then, uh, black people weren't allowed to go to certain shops, and definitely not a black woman going to try on wedding dresses. So you had to make do with what you had. And don't, as a matter of fact, ah, don't get it twisted because I'm like this. I tell people this all the time, especially young folks that is looking at getting married. It's about you and your spouse. It's about y'all. Don't go broke trying to please everybody else or trying to impress them. So what you decide to wear, where you decide to have your wedding, Whatever you decide to do, it's about y'all. As long as the two of y'all are happy, that's what's important. So, Miss Tucker smiled from ear to ear when she put on her wedding dress. The 94-year-old grandmother who was married in 1952 always wanted to wear one, but she says black women weren't allowed in bridal shop at that time. Tucker grandkids made her dream come true last week when they surprised her with a trip to David's bridal in Hoover, Alabama. Um, AI.com states when Tucker granddaughter Angela Strozar heard her mother, I've always wanted to try on a wedding dress. Um, Her granddaughter thought of a solution. I said, that's not no problem. She kind of brushed me off. She didn't think I would do it. However, Strozar followed through. She went online, booked an appointment at David Bridal, and called Birmingham makeup artist Ferris Clayton to provide Tucker with a makeover. When they arrived at David Bridal and explained exactly why they were there, the staff all pitched in to make Miss Tucker Day even more special. Everyone was so delighted to help me do that for her. Uh, Stores all said everyone was catering to her because I told them her story. Tucker tried on two bridal gowns, including one adorable with a floral lace pattern. I felt like I was getting married, Tucker said. I didn't want to take it off, but I knew I had to. I looked good in it though. Uh, the wedding experience at David Bridal is just one of the widow Tucker requests fulfilled by her grandkids. Um, Stores explained that she has no problem doing things like that for her grandmother because she is always willing to entertain them and their shenanigans. Sound like Miss Risky say to me all the time. She has always told us to give her flowers while she's still here, not when she gone, so she can enjoy them. Her granddaughter says so. Whenever she expressed that she wanted to do something, wants to go somewhere, want to experience something, we'll try our best to make it happen. She's our grandmother, and to have a grandmother so full of life at 94 is a blessing. Um, that story actually came out from Revolt .tv that article came from, and they really made her day. She's smiling, beautiful grandmother, and um, I'm glad that she was able to fulfill that dream to finally be able to wear a wedding dress. Um, so that's pretty good. And I'm like this: if you capable of putting a smile on someone's face, definitely do it. Definitely do it. You could change a person's life just by being nice to them. A simple hello can change the way a person feel that day. But for her grandkids to go out and do something like this, and if I'm not mistaken, in one article I read, uh, she made that comment while they was watching Coming to America 2. Is when she made that comment, the wedding scene, and that's what she wanted to do. So her dream came true, and hopefully, uh, I know she enjoyed herself by the smile on her face. But definitely, that's um, that's some good news, and I think that's a good way of ending the show on some good news with everything that's going on. have to end it on some good news. But don't forget Thursday, July the 15th, prayer and justice march on the Capitol. Um, if you're interested in going, um, please go to friendshipwest.org website. They have information that you can fill out in case you need a ride. They're gonna have buses, but I don't know when the deadline is um, for them to get the right amount of buses. So definitely do that. Or if you want to meet them in Austin on Thursday, July the 15th, 9 a.m., definitely do it. Definitely do it. Because what Greg Abbott and the rest of them are trying to do, it needs to stop. It need to stop. So definitely take part in it. Um, Other than that, we will see y'all tomorrow night. My days are off because we missed last night. See y'all tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Until then, I love each and every one of you. And please like, share, tell a friend, subscribe to the channel. Until then, peace.